Hey everyone, welcome back to Go Kick Me, your favorite crowdfunding news and reviews channel here on YouTube. So today we're going to talk about a Kickstarter called Cleansebot, which claims to be the world's first bacteria-killing robot. Patent pending, smart robot is pocket-sized and ready to travel. Meet your new best travel buddy. Okay, so first of all, it's not actually the world's first bacteria-killing robot, as near as I can tell. It is doing quite well here, as you can see. The numbers just jumping up. Almost $1 million, 4 days to go. We'll get pretty close to $1 million, I think. 7,800 backers, supposedly. And what is it? It is like a Roomba, mini travel-size Roomba that instead of vacuuming, zaps bacteria and viruses with UVC lighting. UVC is like not the kind that gives you sunburns, but the kind that kills bacteria that use it for disinfecting. So here's a little bit from their video. It's pretty well done.
Smart robot designed to sanitize and disinfect any surface, including your bed and blankets, using UVC light. Cleansebot is the first
So yeah, it can actually go, apparently it can go under your sheets and on your bed and can disinfect, you know, wherever you're staying. Is that really necessary? Yes, there are some things like norovirus, Legionnaire's disease, Ebola, E. coli, etc. that you can get off of surfaces. So, yeah, I mean, if you're a germaphobe, if you're really paranoid about that, if you're in kind of high-risk areas, couldn't hurt, right? So not only does it do that, but it also can be handheld and be used to, you know, to specifically disinfect surfaces. So in this case, a cutting board, your computer, your phone, your stuffed animals, etc. So, yeah, like UVC is a real thing. It does kill bacteria. Oh, by the way, this also works as a power bank. Why not? It charges with a USB-C cable, so you can connect it to a high power charger. So UVC is a real thing. It does really kill, you know, whatever, norovirus. It kills influenza virus. It can kill a lot of stuff. You may like that the DJI Mavic Zoom 2, the drone everyone will want. Anyway, I don't know where this is from. Time Magazine. Yeah, so it's a real thing. It can even kill airborne viruses. It can kill viruses in water if the water is not full of junk. And so they do a demonstration. This is actually some test they did in Guangzhou, Microbiology Institute of Guangzhou or whatever it is, with E. coli, where this is the part that got zapped with the light, and this is the part that didn't. And after 24 hours, you get all kinds of E. coli growing there. So, sounds pretty good, right? Well, it seems to do, you know, as far as the Roomba part goes, it seems to be pretty decent. It can go under your sheets and all that. But in fact, I do have some issues with this. So as you can see in the videos, there's actually also, they got some pretty good coverage, despite what they show here. What they show in this video, which was BBC did a video about, did a report about their product. First of all, she demonstrates it.
At first glance, it's not immediately obvious how this works, but let me show you.
So first of all, you notice the sound is actually not small. That was not included in the other video. And you can see, like a Roomba, it'll do the random, seems to do the random walk thing.
It doesn't seem...
So, you know, when it comes to picking up dust off your floor, especially if it's running all the time, that kind of zigzagging around and eventually through randomization sort of hitting almost all of the floor is good enough. If you're talking about bacteria, killing bacteria, maybe not enough. Like, how do you know if it's even gotten, say, exactly where your mouth is going to be on the pillow or on the you know, the part of the sheet that goes over your face or whatever, right? So I would say that's actually kind of not good enough. They also show that you can use it, the handheld part here, which is also interesting.
The top turned on, so it knows exactly when it's in open space and when it's covered, which I think is quite clever. You can also put it into handheld mode to sanitize objects like light switches, pillows, the TV remote. But for me, I'm going for the toilet. At full price, the Cleansebot costs $190.
So notice I'm going to be really nitpicky here, but notice how fast, she's not the official person or whatever, but they are sharing this video on here without a disclaimer. So she goes over this toilet seat in the span of,
currently there's an early bird deal
whatever.
for £76.
Figure she did the whole thing in maybe 10
putting your own little
seconds. They didn't show the whole thing, but basically 10 seconds for the bottom of the seat and maybe the top of the seat, another 10 seconds, right? That's not nearly enough time. In their test demonstration, which you could see a bit in the example in the previous video, and they also share the video here. The thing with the Petri dish, they did 30 seconds, very close with the Cleansebot. So as you can see, as it zooms across your bed, nowhere near 30 seconds. As she's floating it over the toilet seat, nowhere near 30 seconds. That's supposed to be 30 seconds for every square centimeter, right? And so in their report from the Guangzhou Institute of Microbiology, they did 30 seconds exposure with the light to kill 99.99% of the bacteria or whatever, right? Of the E. coli. So, okay, they're advertising, and they mention it in that video from BBC, and they mention it elsewhere in this description that it kills 99.99%. But nobody, including when it's on automatic mode, is really giving 30 seconds of exposure to every square centimeter. I guess if you let that thing drive around in your bed long enough, eventually it would get everywhere 30 seconds worth, but I don't even know if that has to be 30 continuous seconds. If you come back for 5 seconds every hour, is that enough to kill the thing? I don't think so. I think it will repair itself over time. So anyway, so that's already a problem. So if I'm going to use it as a sort of a handheld thing, I got to go really slowly across the whole thing, or I got to go several passes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I don't think the automatic one, at least as it's demonstrated, maybe they sped it up so it looks more interesting, because if it really went that slowly across your bed, it would fucking take forever, and it wouldn't make for a very good video, that's for sure. I do like the fact that they do give this information. They did do a test, which is a lot better than a lot of these other, bogus health claims ones. So this one, that UVC is a real thing. It really does work when you do this. But of course, the question is, are you going to do that? One of the things I like, though, besides the fact that they actually got certification, is they gave details. So this thing emits, the power it emits, or whatever the intensity is, 1500 microwatts per square centimeter, and the UVC wavelength is 254 nanometers. So that's good and bad. So that is definitely in the antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-microorganism wavelengths, but it's also kind of close to the bad, very bad for your eyes wavelength. So they actually mention it in here, like don't look at it directly and things like that. But yeah, you got to be careful actually. On top of that, this intensity is, although it's good, it really can actually tell you exactly how long you have to wave over to kill what percentage of stuff. So I did do some research on this. If you check out, you can check out more detail on UVC-C for, or UVC-A, B, and C for things like sterilization, disinfection. And yeah, so it might actually be the same type of lamp, the mercury vapor lamp, because that emits centered around 254 nanometers. But they give some detail here. There's also a specific, specific article on Wikipedia specifically about ultraviolet germicidal irradiation. And here they start going into the dosages and stuff. So the UV dose is basically that intensity times the number of seconds of exposure. So it's basically intensities in microwatts per square centimeter, and times seconds equals microwatt seconds per square centimeter. And they have some data points in here, which is very valuable. So to kill 90% of most bacteria and viruses, you need anywhere between 2,000 to 8,000 microwatts per second per square centimeter. So what that means is you need anywhere from, with that thing, you need 1.5 to 4 seconds to kill 90%. So to get to 99.99, you need something like 30 seconds. But so you'll kill 90% of the bacteria, whatever, like this speed. I don't know if you guys see that. Like 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. So I probably have to do that 8 seconds to get both halves of my computer, right? Something like that, given the width of that thing. So that's definitely not what they're showing, I think, in the toilet seat example. And that's to kill 90%, not 99.99, right? So you're already off by, whatever, a factor of 100 in the lethality. So keep that in mind. Like, killing 90% of the bacteria is good. It's great for killing, most of the shit on your toilet seat, but not all of it. And so in this one, they also mentioned that, for certain things, it varies by the type of bacteria too. So like certain things are harder to kill than others. Certain ones also, should note, are more susceptible to certain wavelengths than other ones. And I think the fundamental thing that I don't like, especially with the robot one, is this can't be a set it and forget it kind of solution. So if I just let that thing run around under my bed and I hope it gets most of the bacteria, there could be some spot where, let's say, one of the sheets is kind of folded over and it just drives over that and it doesn't expose some flap in there, which is full of who knows what, right? And then that happens to be when I'm sleeping on it, that happens to like reposition, and then suddenly the unsanitized part is directly on my open cut, and now I got whatever, Giardia, or I got norovirus. So, it's like, what is that? There's security through obscurity is not security at all. So just like hoping that you got it all covered, or that no one, basically that you never stumble upon the bad one, is just not a real protection, right? You either do it or you don't bother. Getting some of it is not as good as getting all of it, right? Especially if you're like immunocompromised or whatever, or you're close to it or whatever, if you're in a really shitty place, this is going to help, but it's not going to really get you much peace of mind. That's my view. I don't know. You guys think I'm nuts or what? The other thing is I wanted to say it's not the world's first robot that kills stuff, because this thing has been around since at least 2014, and this is literally, it's like a robot that helps disinfect like operating rooms and rooms in hospitals. And so this thing, I guess, I don't think it actually drives itself, but it's basically like an automatic disinfecting machine. The germ zapping robots by Xenex, and so yeah, it's like let's see, I think it's the same page. You basically just put it in a hospital room, and you let it just keep, this thing bobs up and down, and it spins around and it zaps stuff. And I guess if stuff is moving, it'll stop, sense motion from across, yeah, so it doesn't zap people. The other thing I wanted to mention, so this one only says reduces infection rates by 50%. So they're focused on reducing, what do they call it, with HCIs or whatever, hospital something additional infections or whatever. So, there's a big problem about people who actually get infections when they go to the hospital. Like you go in with an appendix burst and you end up getting some like killer pneumonia or something and dying. So, there's a good reason why some people are paranoid about going to hospitals. So this one is actually a real thing. It's a real product. It's been really tested. They actually have scientific surveys on the efficacy and whatnot in here. So anyway, like I said, I don't actually think this is the world's first. This is the world's first travel size one. Okay, maybe the world's first Roomba flavored robot zapper. Okay, but not the world's first bacteria killing robot. Not even the first UVC one, because there's other ones that do other stuff too. Not only is it, there's other ones that use things besides UVC too. So anyway, yeah, and let's look at, because I like to really let's look at what else you could get. So do you need the Roomba thing, or could you just get a handheld one to do your little toilet and do your laptop and do your phone and stuff like that. Well, it turns out you can, and you can do it quite affordably. So some of these I'm sure are pretty junky, and people in the reviews actually say, like, get the better one, don't get the cheap one. Maybe the sharper image one is better. It's $80. They have these kind of giant ones too, which I don't necessarily think I'd want to trust that. But some of these, like even CVS sells one, right? So you can look up information on it. There's reviews, but yeah, like there's just tons of these things. So $25, $79. Where's the CVS one? I think CVS, really no information on here. But if you just go to CVS and buy it for $17, right, you can sanitize your laptop all you want. And that looks pretty damn travel size to me. I don't know about you guys. Looks like a hair curler or whatever, right? So yeah, there you go. Look at that guy. Looks so happy. So just get one of these for yeah, same thing, 99.9. Oh, not 99. E. coli and laboratory tests. So those tests are pretty easy to do if you just leave it there long enough. I'm sure the same thing. They probably say, oh, has to be 30 seconds. This one actually says, hold it 1 to 2 inches from the surface and move the wand over the entire area. Allow light to stay on each for 5 to 10 seconds to ensure optimum exposure. So I don't know. Does it say that? It doesn't say that on the website for the robot thing. And I wouldn't say from the video that it looks like it spends 10 seconds over every square centimeter. So, yeah. See any reviews? No reviews on this one. No real reviews. But anyway, so there's a lot of stuff. You can actually also check, like, how do these diseases actually spread? Legionnaire's disease, for example. This one is spread in a lot of but spread in a lot of different ways. This one is from the bacteria in water, so especially if you have contaminated water supply, or you have things spraying with it, basically someone coughs on you, you can get it perhaps too. So Legionnaire's disease is significant. They listed that as in the Cleansebot as one of the dangers to be worried about. Norovirus is a big problem on cruise ships and in dormitories and stuff like that. So norovirus spreads when a person gets poop or vomit from an infected person in their mouth. Ew. So basically, if you touch like a elevator button and then you wipe your mouth and you get your poop from the other guy's poopy hands who touched the button in front of you, and then yeah, shaking hands. Don't shake people's hands. Basically, don't change diapers from a norovirus kid, especially. So anyway, that's why I make my wife change the diapers. So yeah, it's a real thing. It really does work. There are some concerns, though. Also be careful about UVC. Don't shine it in your eyes and stuff like that. There's actually, you can use it for airborne viruses too. In this case, if they used like the lower frequency ones, they could even put it in lighting because that apparently doesn't affect your eyes for what's called far UVC. But yeah, I'm going to say here UVC is what percentage? 200 to 222 nanometers. So anyway, going back to this one, I thought I was going to be fast. I'm actually 18 minutes now. I don't think it's a bad product. Like, I'm sure it works, but it's not 99.99. I think it's better off just getting a handheld one for a fraction of the cost. I should talk about how much this thing costs, by the way. The cheapest one right now is $99, right, for the super early bird, which is almost sold out. By the time you see this, it'll be sold out. You can get it for $109 maybe, and the price will be going up to $129. I'm sure this is one of those things where as soon as it sells out, they add more because, like, look at this random number, 6305. So definitely, like, they're adding 150 every time it gets close or something. Who knows? But anyway, yeah. So I think for the price, you could do pretty well with one of these guys. Don't get the CVS one for $16. Get the nicer one, the Pure Will, or the sharper image one. Who knows? And take your time and go nice and slow and get everything. And yeah, why not just do that, because I think it'll be just as good if you're really that paranoid about diseases and whatnot. And if you are, maybe you should stay home and not touch anything. Okay, so that's it for today here on Go Kick Me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you are from Cleansebot and you want to have me test one out, I'll go and smear some of my kids' poop on a bunch of things and then see if I get sick after using the Cleansebot. How's that sound? Gross, I know. Anyway, just joking. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter at GoKickMe and also GoKickMedia.com. See you guys next time. Oh, I want to say thank you also to Monica for recommending this one. Thanks. Bye.